many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee celebrate.
Peace be upon you all.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Maha Akil. It's my pleasure and honor to welcome you to this side event celebrating 50 years of the Islamic Development Bank's championing of South-South cooperation in its member countries and beyond. Before we begin our session, I would like to point out that there is interpretation and the devices are available at the back of the hall because some of the interventions will be in Arabic. South-South cooperation is being undertaken in increasingly more diversified modalities involving an ever-expanding set of connected actors and growing quickly in its scope and magnitude. Amid complex and rapidly evolving global challenges, South-South cooperation has exhibited the potential to offer solidarity-based solutions to help developing countries build collective self-resilience and promote more sustainable and equitable economic growth. Since its establishment in 1974, the Islamic Development Bank has promoted and advocated South-South cooperation among its member countries as one of its key founding principles. In fact, the IDB is the only multilateral development bank that is owned only by Global South countries. For almost 5 decades, the bank has reflected South-South cooperation in its operations by bringing its member countries together to help one another solve common development challenges. To this end, various programs have been in operation for many years in order to increase trade, investment, and technical cooperation among the IDB's member countries, such as the IDB's Technical Cooperation Program and its unique technical cooperation mechanism called reverse linkage that connects member countries to help one another develop capacity and solve development challenges through a peer-to-peer approach. By the end of 2023, the bank helped more than 34 countries to collaborate with each other in problem-solving projects while using the reverse linkage mechanism. Our distinguished panelists today will exchange views and ideas on the various ways and means to scale up South-South cooperation and emphasize the huge potential of South-South cooperation to assist the countries from the Global South to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals during this decade of action. Without further ado, I would like to invite His Excellency Dr. Mansour Mukhtar, Vice President of Operations at the Islamic Development Bank, to deliver the welcoming remarks before we showcase a short film on the IDB's 50-year journey on South-South cooperation, followed by the panel discussion. Dr. Mukhtar is the Vice President of Country Programs. He previously served as Executive Director on the board of the World Bank Group, as well as co-chair of the UN Intergovernmental Committee of Experts on Sustainable Development Finance. He has served as Minister of Finance for the Federal Republic of Nigeria and as Chairman of the National Economic Management Team, as Executive Director of the African Development Bank, and as Director General of Nigeria's Debt Management Office. Your Excellency, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'd like to recognize the special guests that we have today, and Dr. Abdullah Al-Sakran, Executive Director of Strategy and Development, Saudi Fund for Development. Also acknowledge the presence of the Chief Executive Office of the Indonesian Agency for International Development, the Director General of the Tunisian Agency for Technical Cooperation, and the Director, United Nations Office of South-South Cooperation. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to start by welcoming you all and expressing my appreciation for your presence at this important event. Today, we gather to cherish and reflect upon the Islamic Development Bank's long-standing experience in South-South cooperation within our membership and beyond, thanks to the unwavering support of our member countries and partners. Let me also express our sincere appreciation to our esteemed host, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, for its warm hospitality and unwavering dedication to facilitating the organization of the Islamic Development Bank Group's annual meetings and the Golden Jubilee celebration in the splendid city of Riyadh. Honorable guests, the 2024 annual meetings of the Islamic Development Bank Group are being organized under the name Cherishing Our Past, Charting Our Future, Originality, Solidarity, and Prosperity. This theme has been carefully crafted to reflect our dedication to honoring our rich heritage while paving the way for a future filled with innovation and shared success. The three main keywords of this year's theme, originality, solidarity, and prosperity, have been our core values since inception. These core values will shape my remarks today. Regarding the originality principle, let me remind this distinguished audience that half a century ago, in this same venue, this same hotel, 22 countries from the global south, spearheaded by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, came together in solidarity to establish the Islamic Development Bank, a development institution with South-South cooperation at its heart. Today, after 50 years, we stand as a testament to their foresight and unwavering commitment. For the past 5 decades, the ISDB has stood at the forefront, championing the ethos of mutual support and collaborative growth among its member countries. Our unique position as the premier multilateral development bank owned by the Global South has empowered us to use innovative development approaches that are rooted in solidarity and South-South cooperation. Since its inception, the Islamic Development Bank has served multiple roles in South-South cooperation as a connector, as a facilitator, and as a financier. It connects knowledge-seeking entities with relevant providers from southern member and non-member countries. It facilitates South-South interventions by sharing profiles of competent resource centers and knowledge products. Additionally, it supports capacity development activities through various financing modes. Esteemed gathering, driven by the principle of solidarity, the ISDB crafted its unique South-South cooperation approach known as reverse linkage. This innovative modality puts solidarity-based cooperation ahead of finance and provides the opportunity to focus the spotlight where it matters, which is the expertise, technologies, and resources of our member countries, which they are willing to share with others for mutual benefits. By the end of 2023, the bank had helped more than 37 member countries collaborate, spanning 76 projects using the reverse linkage mechanism. The total amount of these projects exceeds $231 million funded through grants and non-grant resources. We have many other examples of solidarity-based projects that would not have been possible without the unwavering support of the member countries, despite their own challenges and national priorities. The COVID-19 pandemic is a recent manifestation of solidarity among our countries. Allow me to highlight just one example of this solidarity, showcased by Senegal. Through its esteemed Institut Pasteur de Dakar, it supported 10 public health laboratories across sub-Saharan Africa, enhancing their capacity to combat pandemics and epidemics. This participatory initiative has gained recognition regionally and globally, including in prestigious events like the 2021 Paris Peace Forum. In line with the prosperity principle, our interventions have driven lasting development impact across sectors over the last 5 decades, from restoring the sight of tens of thousands of blind people suffering from cataract, to increasing the productivity of strategic crops, such as cotton, to availing digital financial services to marginalized community groups, to introducing artificial insemination of livestock. These interventions have fostered cross-country connectivity, bridged cultures, and empowered communities. Complementing these on-ground initiatives, the Islamic Development Bank has been continuously enriching the body of knowledge of South-South cooperation with new concepts and tools. Notable among them are the ISDB Online Academy for South-South Cooperation, the South-South National Ecosystems Program, and the South-South Cooperation Index Guidelines. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also proud to note that our member countries are continuously investing in knowledge, innovation, and technology, making great strides at the global level. Notably, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, our host country, has accumulated a wealth of knowledge and expertise across diverse fields such as health, water management, palm dates, digital transformation, vocational training, and of course, petrochemicals. Through a joint initiative with the bank that will be launched soon, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will be sharing its wealth of knowledge with both the Islamic Development Bank member countries and other nations from the global south. ISDB will continue to collaborate with Saudi Arabia and all our member countries to tackle pressing development issues. This collaborative effort underscores our dedication to scaling up South-South cooperation, reinforcing our role as a leading global player in this vital arena. Respected attendees, today marks a significant milestone, commemorating 50 years of impactful South-South cooperation. As we draw inspiration from our shared history and the tangible impacts we've achieved together, it is also a golden opportunity to discuss and deliberate on the ways to scale up our collaborative efforts. I'm confident that today's discussions will lay the groundwork for advancing South-South cooperation. As we approach 2030, it is imperative that we strengthen our bonds, focus our efforts, and prioritize collective actions. Your dedication and partnership are invaluable as we move forward towards a future where South-South cooperation is a beacon of hope, a future where South-South cooperation is a catalyst for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. I wish you successful deliberations. May this ISDB Golden Jubilee occasion remind us indeed of the importance of learning from the past and working together to make the world a better place for this generation and for the generations to come. Thank you, and I look forward to today's discussions and outcome. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Excellency, for this perceptive overview and future prospects. We have now a short film for you that documents the impressive 50-year journey of IDB on South-South cooperation.
50 years of championing South-South cooperation, SSC. For the past 50 years, the Islamic Development Bank has been at the forefront of fostering collaboration among nations of the Global South and beyond. Since its inception in 1974, South-South cooperation has been embedded in the very fabric of the bank's DNA, with all member countries from the Global South. In 1983, the bank initiated its Technical Cooperation Program, facilitating thousands of capacity development operations while harnessing the capabilities of member countries. Fast forward to 2013, when the ISDB introduced its homegrown mechanism of South-South cooperation, reverse linkage. The reverse linkage projects have flourished across various sectors and regions, empowering member countries to address challenges collectively and drive growth. Over the years, the ISDB has refined a fully cyclical approach to cooperation among member countries, involving identifying demands, mapping institutions, formulating projects, and building partnerships. In 2018, the ISDB's accumulated experience led to the development of its framework for the national ecosystem for South-South cooperation, identifying 7 essential pillars that must coexist within a southern country to maximize the benefits derived from South-South cooperation. And in 2022, the ISDB launched the Online Academy for South-South Cooperation, enriching global knowledge of South-South cooperation with a wide array of information tools and guiding materials. All these initiatives underscore the ISDB's position as a global leader in South-South cooperation. Looking ahead, the ISDB will continue to expand South-South cooperation across countries, sectors, and financing modalities, while working with all our regional and global partners.
And now the panel discussion that promises to be interesting and insightful. I would like to invite to the stage the moderator, Dr. Issa Faye, and the distinguished speakers, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Fala Nabe, Dr. Abdullah Al-Sakran, Mr. Tormar Bolang Lombanto Beng, Mr. Mohammed Beledi, and Ms. Dima Al-Khatib. While the speakers make their way to their seats, allow me to introduce Dr. Issa Faye. He is the Director General for Global Practices and Partnerships at the Islamic Development Bank. His role consists in strategically steering the development of the GPP Directorate's work program to contribute to the effective implementation of ISDB's strategy. Dr. Issa leads the bank's partnership and global advocacy agenda geared towards positioning ISDB as a credible development partner worldwide. He also provides leadership for the development and implementation of the bank's resource mobilization and co-financing strategy. Before joining ISDB, Dr. Issa worked at IFC as the Senior Economic Advisor to the Vice President of Global Industries and Head of the Global Industries Economics Unit, and also served as Director of the Sector Economics and Development Impact Department. Prior to that, he worked at the African Development Bank and as economist at the World Bank. Dr. Issa, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. You hear me? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome, distinguished guests, to this session. I'm very honored to be here today to talk about South-South cooperation with this distinguished guest. But by way of introduction, I would just like to say a few words before we go into the discussion to set the scene. I think we have gone a long way. Really, it has been a journey that has taken time, like 70 years from the Bandung Conference in 1955, which is constituting the premise of South-South cooperation. 70 years of making effort to craft and to position the Global South views, perspective, and articulate it around the world. 70 years of attempting to create mechanisms to put in place frameworks that will help leverage the shared prosperity outcomes through solidarity. 70 years of struggling to have a voice from the South. And then there are a couple of milestones to that. The first of which is 1964. The group of 77 came together at the UN to put in place a mechanism to really defend their common economic interest. In that same meetings, they also put together a mechanism to increase their negotiation capacity at the UN. So a lot of work has been gone through to that. And then fast forward 1978, adoption of the BAPA, the Buenos Aires Plan of Action for Technical Cooperation. Again, 138 states coming together to put in place mechanism to promote and implement technical cooperations. And then a couple of years before that were also a milestone, the establishment of the unique development bank that is owned exclusively by the Global South. A development bank that has been created for the development from the South, by the South, and for the South. I mean the Islamic Development Bank. I mean, the video that you've seen earlier has given you just a flavor of what we have been doing so far. But now, today, 50 years after that, we are here today, one, to celebrate the long-standing experience in South-South cooperation, but second, to reflect, to take stock and reflect on how can we innovatively and creatively promote South-South cooperations. And then last but not least, to express our gratitude to our countries, our member countries who have demonstrated really a high sense of solidarity, oftentimes in very difficult circumstances, helping each other to share knowledge, expertise, and development solutions. But today, we have a distinguished panel who are going to help us reflect together. And then from MDBs, development partners, and governments. And I would then like to go through my panelists, and then I'm not going to introduce them. I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves, but also to touch on one question, opening. I will start with Honorable Governor, Mr. Nabi from Republic of Guinea. And then I'll go through my colleagues and then try to ask them a question. So when you get the floor, please introduce yourself and your institution and then try to answer the question. Governor, my question to you is, how do you think the bank could join forces with the government of Guinea to foster South-South cooperation? After you introduce yourself, and then I'll go to my other colleagues.
Well, thank you very much, moderator. My name is Ismail Nabe. I'm the Minister of Planning and International Cooperation of the Republic of Guinea, and also the Governor of Islamic Development Bank. So, Assalamu alaikum. Good morning to everybody. And firstly, I'm bringing the greetings of the people of Guinea to the people of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, to this magnificent city of Riyadh. And then Guinea and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we have a very strong relationship. And then I was looking this morning, the signing of this installation of IDB, I can see Guinea was part of it, whereby Guinea was one of the founding members of ISDB. So we are bringing that spirit with us, you know, to our founding fathers that work very hard to have this vision today. I think incumbent on us moving forward to take the next 50 years, you know, that the relationship that can be built on that. To come to your topic, this topic is extremely important for Guinea, in many reasons, by the way, because Guinea have, you know, is a candidate to set up an institute, South-South cooperation in the Triangular. Therefore, it has been approved by United Nations, and therefore Guinea has been turned around. And then the last meeting we had in Kampala, during the 77 plus China conferences, they are adapted to making sure the institute will build it in Guinea. And then the government of Guinea, the president himself, he have given all the necessary approval, he have given all the instructions to make sure that this institute will be built in Guinea. And therefore, when you talk about South-South cooperation, it's extremely important because the history of Guinea, matter of fact, because Guinea were the first African country to have independence, 1958. And our president, he worked hard to make sure most of the African countries, they can get their independence, whereby you have the non-alignment movement that come to South-South cooperation because Guinea was very much involved to work with people from Asia, people from other parts, whereby we have this South-South cooperation. It comes to our heart when we talk about it because Guinea is a pioneer in many things as well. We believe, yes, we want to have a collaboration with everybody. We want to talk about triangular partnerships, even circular partnerships in the South-South concept. And that's why I upload and then appreciate the program in IDB called Reverse Linkage. It's a very powerful tool because if a member country have developed a system, a good system that can be duplicated by the assistance of IDB to do another member countries. I spend more time in Malaysia, whereby I was talking to them, like the Hajj management system, for example. I said that's a very powerful tool we could do because it's well in Indonesia, in Malaysia, we can do the same thing in Guinea, which called Hajj management system, but it worked very well in Malaysia. Apart from you have the halal ecosystem is developed in Southeast Asia. We can do the same thing in Africa, or in Guinea also for Africa. And then just before closing, to tell you, Guinea, we are in a unique position today. A country in West Africa, neighbored by 6 countries, and in a country that's well known because of its resources, mining resources. We just closed one of the biggest mining projects, to tell to the audience, called Simandou project. This project has been there for more than 50 years. The new president, a young president, because as you can see, dynamic president, which is less than 40 years old, he brought new evolution that moving forward. Guinea, we don't want to keep taking our minerals to bring it outside. We want to transform locally. So in order to transform locally, what he's saying, we want to talk to our friend from the south. So those have experience. Saudi Arabia have experience to transform its oil. Other, South countries, they have experiences. It's better we talk to our friend from the South to develop our minerals. Absolutely. So basically, to give you a roundup, we will develop that one later on, but Guinea is coming here with full of pride and then humbleness to tell to our friend from Saudi Arabia that the journey that's 50 years ago, our generation now, we need to take that journey to the 50 years to come. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Mr. Governor, for that very passionate intervention, and then looking forward to come back to you on to delve on some of the sectoral things. But also notice that you're founding member of the ISDB, and then you looking for more collaboration and working together with different things. You mentioned the Islamic finance, the halal, and working with Malaysia. So we'll come back to you. But let me now move to our other panelists, and I will give you one question for all of you to share, which is, could you please introduce your institution and then tell us a little bit on how South-South cooperation is shaping your strategies, your business culture, and your actions. So I'll start with Dr. Abdullah Al-Sakran from SFD, and then we go down the...
Thank you, Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Abdullah Sakran. I'm Executive Director of the Strategy and Development at the Saudi Fund. Our role at the Saudi Fund is direct the organization to our intervention to under umbrella of development cooperation. Also, I am a member in ITFC, which is an entity at the IDB groups. Regarding your question here, also it is my profound honor to join you today to champion one of the most pivotal dimension of international development, South-South cooperation. I extend also my heartfelt thanks to the Islamic Development Bank for hosting this event, and I offer my warmest congratulations to their remarkable milestone of 50 years of dedicated service and leadership in fostering development across the Global South. At SFD, our commitment to South-South cooperation is unwavering. In the last 49 years, the vast majority of our 740 development loans valued at over $20 billion across 93 countries has been dedicated to countries in the global south. Our focus has always been in mutual development, facilitating knowledge exchange and addressing shared challenge. As you know, our world is facing unprecedented challenge, economic volatility, climate crisis, and regional instability. As a new issue continue to emerge, we are entering uncharted territory together and trying to develop solutions in real time. In such time, the South-South and Triangle Cooperation Framework provide not only lifeline, but also a progressive way forward. These mechanisms are crucial for pooling resource, sharing knowledge, and fostering innovation, which are critical for sustainable development. At SFD, we are always looking for ways to strengthen our commitment to South-South cooperation. We have developed a new strategy for Africa that focus on mutual cooperation. We have contributed to joint commitment with Arab Coordination Group to address climate change. And we have engaged with many multilateral banks to strengthen our triangle cooperation as well. Our work is testament to our belief that collective potential is enhanced and we stand shoulder to shoulder in pursuit of common goals. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. And thank you for your commitment to South-South cooperation. We know your new strategy for Africa, the Arab Coordination Group, and you're looking for mutual development. That's exactly we all trying to do. Now, I would like to bring in our colleagues from the Indonesian Agency for International Development, Mr. Lumbat Tobing. Same question. Introduce your institution, and then how can you tell us a little bit how you can leverage South-South cooperation in your strategies, business, and actions?
Thank you, moderator. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tormar Bulang Lumban Tobing, Chief Executive Officer of Indonesian Agency for International Development. First of all, allow me to extend my sincere gratitude to the Islamic Development Bank and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to inviting us to join this very important meeting. So, Indonesia has been actively engaged in South-South cooperation for more than 30 years, as we believe the strategic role of the South-South cooperation. We are in the view that South-South cooperation should bring a focus to produce development solution, to enhance development cooperation. Such cooperation should facilitate the exchange of knowledge, resources, and expertise in order to process the mutual benefits. Our South-South cooperation has been carried out in 3 flagship programs. We call it development issue, which consists of the poverty reduction, agriculture, animal husbandry, and also disaster risk management. And also we have flagship program for economic issue, like microeconomic management, public financial management, microfinance, and small medium enterprise promotion. And another flagship program is governance, including law enforcement and local and regional development program. Since the demand for South-South cooperation has been growing, Indonesia continually improve and develop how we operate. One of these developments is to establish the national coordination team with the given task to coordinate South-South regional cooperation implemented by the line ministry. And Another development is because we consider social cooperation is a very critical, so this program has been embedded in our midterm development program. And lastly, in order to enhance the social cooperation, this agency, or Indonesian Aid, was established in 2019. Since its establishment as a public service agency under the Ministry of Finance, Indonesian Aid has do development cooperation assistance worth Indonesian rupiah 356 billion rupiah to our 58 development partners. The assistance is in form of training, small-scale infrastructure, feasibility study, and of course, we do provide equipment and humanitarian assistance. In pursuit of fostering international cooperation, Indonesian Aid welcome collaboration with various international development partners. To name a few, our agency has been close cooperation with the World Bank, the Global Fund, International Committee for Red Cross, Aga Khan Foundation, and of course, Islamic Development Bank. Currently, we have an ongoing program to improve health services in Somalia through telemedicine. And of course, we are not stopped here. We keep doing the cooperation with the many institutions because we believe by doing collaboration with the international agency, it will speed up our, the progress we can make. And of course, as Indonesia has shared its past commitment in advancing social cooperation and international cooperation to foster the prosperity of all nations in the global south. I stop here. Okay.
Excellent. No, thank you. Thank you very much for your call for collaboration, co-creation, and putting in place development solution. Now I'm going to move to Mohammed Blidi from the ACTC. Mohammed, can you shed light on that question on leveraging South-South cooperation for your business actions and strategies?
Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to express my thanks to the IDB for inviting the Tunisian Agency for Technical Cooperation to attend this event. That is the 50th anniversary of the IDB, which is also coinciding with the 52nd anniversary of the creation of the Tunisian Agency, which was created in 1972, in April of 1972. So I'll try very briefly to present the key milestones in the history of the Tunisian Agency for Technical Cooperation and the key accomplishments. So we have a number of milestones that are important, the key milestones. The first milestone is the foundation or the creation of the Tunisian Agency for Technical Cooperation in 1972. And this foundation or establishment came in order to regulate the technical cooperation with the neighboring countries by sending the Tunisian teachers to different neighboring countries. And this confirms that Tunisia, from the beginning, is in pursuit of establishing solidarity and cooperation with other countries. The second milestone was in 1975, so 3 years before the international conference in Buenos Aires, which established the South-South cooperation. Our agency in May of 1975 organized the international meeting for the technical cooperation of the countries of the South. There is another important milestone As we talk about the South-South cooperation, we are talking also about the tri-cooperation. The first tri-cooperation operation by the agency was with the office, the Arab Fund in Africa, and with the Cultural Cooperation Agency for the Francophone countries. And these operations came to the benefit of many African countries, including the Comoros Islands, Mali, Djibouti, and other countries. And this was followed by other milestones, but I wanted to highlight these milestones to emphasize that Tunisia was aware early enough of the importance of the South-South cooperation as an important tool to achieve development and to achieve the advancement and the progress of the nations of the South. Tunisia was a pioneer, and the agency is continuing as the key focal point at the national level. We are continuing this role. I'll give you a brief idea about the accomplishments that have been delivered in 52 years. The Tunisian agency sent about 70,000 Tunisian cooperators or collaborators to work in different South countries, and we also sent more than 2,000 Tunisian experts to provide technical assistance to different countries in different aspects. And the agency as well organized training courses and study tours and visits for more than 6,000 people within the African and the Arab countries in order to exchange the experiences with Tunisia. The agency as well implemented 120 projects of technical cooperation and assistance, and we are continuing the implementation of many of these projects, especially with our key partner, the IDB. With the IDB, actually, we have implemented a number of initiatives, and I will mention these initiatives as we speak about the cooperation between the Tunisian agency and the IDB. Our agency is working to develop and to foster this cooperation because it understands that it achieves the development objectives of the South countries. And recently, actually, there is an increasing understanding of the importance of this cooperation, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic, the climate change challenge that forces us to work more and more with each other in order to achieve the South development. And this is one facet of the international cooperation, and it is complementing actually the international cooperation because the South countries are closer to each other. They understand the context of each other, and they can help in the development of each other. So this is in brief what the agency has done as the entity responsible for implementing the Tunisian policies regarding South-South cooperation.
As the experience of the agencies and then how it has been impacting the life of so many people, 200,000 Tunisians sent in to doing technical assistance. That's really, really impressive. So congrats for that. Now, Dima, now I think that now you're bringing the global footprints and the global hat now. Can you tell us also your perspective into leveraging South-South cooperation into your organization?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me first also join the colleagues by congratulating the Islamic Development Bank for the 50th anniversary, and also to thank you for inviting me on behalf of the UN Office for South-South Cooperation to join this interesting discussion. Our office, as you may know, is a mandated office by the UN General Assembly to advocate, facilitate, and enable South-South cooperation and triangular cooperation with member states and across the UN system. We are hosted by the United Nations Development Programme, and given the intrinsic relationship on development cooperation with UNDP, but we do support and service the whole UN system and work closely with the member states. with the high-level committee on South-South cooperation, which is a branch of the General Assembly representing all member states, and that gets elected every 2 years with a rotational geographical representation. And as an office, we are, proudly supporting them as a secretariat for that. Our role is given that mandate, of course, we use the Buenos Aires Action Plan and the Buenos Aires Action Plan plus 40 as our backbone in terms of setting our strategy, given, it's really voicing the concerns, the interests, and the challenges of the member states. We do have a very important role in supporting intergovernmental processes, different declarations, decisions that happens at the global level, and ensuring that South-South cooperation and triangular cooperation are mainstreamed and definitely supported. And I have to say that with the recent events that have been happening, whether it's the Havana Declaration on Science, Technology and Innovation, whether it's the South Summit, whether it's the Middle Income Countries Declaration, every declaration and every decision so far has been voicing the importance of South-South cooperation and triangular cooperation in bridging the gap of the SDGs and advancing the development. And I'm really happy, every time we meet in such forums to see how South-South cooperation has been increasingly institutionalized. I know that there will be a segment to talk about sustainability, but this is a very important element. And, here around the table, we do have live examples with us of this institutionalization process. Another key constituency of what we do is to also demonstrate how does South-South cooperation and triangular cooperation work. And this is via the trust funds that we manage and that are entrusted to us by member states from the South. And that are implemented by the multilateral system. And here I really want to underpin the importance of the role of the UN system at the countries and the regional level in terms of bringing also their technical expertise and supporting South-South cooperation and triangular cooperation. We have recently launched what we call the UN country team guidelines for this mainstreaming process, and this will really allow bringing South-South cooperation and grounding it within the national development planning process through the UN system. A very important instrument that we hope that we will be able to further popularize and advance. Another key aspect is with the trust funds that we manage and the implementation on the ground is the generation of knowledge, of scalable knowledge and shareable knowledge across countries that we are proudly also presenting via our digital platform called Galaxy. But also at the same time, we are coming up with new tools and instruments to test, incubate, and pilot South-South development solutions through a South-South development solutions lab that we are rolling out soon, but also working closely with what we call the global thinkers, think tanks from the South, with an effort to bring them together around addressing development challenges in the South, driven by the countries of the South, and also solved by the countries of the South, so solutions by the countries of the South. And it's also an opportunity to amplify the voice of the think tanks through different mechanisms and through different forums. A recent undertaking was engaging them also in, for example, the Human Development Report of UNDP consultation. And the Global Thinkers is also an initiative that we have done jointly with UNDP, and we are currently launching a second phase. So it's a combination of support to intergovernmental processes, working with the UN system, generating knowledge, but also testing and implementing on the ground. And we are also very proud that we are increasing our partnerships. We will talk more about the relationship with the Islamic Development Bank as we move forward. Thank you.
Excellent. No, thank you very much, Dima, for giving this perspective of knowledge creation. It's important. I mean, knowledge brokering, bringing the different think tanks together and making sure we test it, we demonstrate that it works, that's very important. And the mainstreaming part is also at country and regional level.
Yes.
And this is where maybe we can talk, because we're also doing mainstreaming South-South cooperation in projects and program in the ISDB. So a lot to work together, I think. Now, I'm going to come back to the panel for a second round of questions. So coming to Mr. Governor. Now I think that we can go a little bit deeper into some of the very concrete things that you're doing in the Republic of Guinea. How can we think of scaling up South-South cooperation, and what sectors do you think we could work with Guinea to help you really provide development solutions?
All right, thank you very much. Just before I answer, I want to upload what Madame was saying, because I have a team right now in the United Nations talk about the institute that we want to set up.
Right.
And therefore, we are organizing, planning to organize a roundtable. This roundtable, we want IDB to host that roundtable, because you are the pioneer of South-South cooperation. Because this institute, we are, in fact, a matter of fact, during my bilateral meeting with the president of IDB, we'll be discussing how IDB can organize this roundtable to call all the donors to put this institute into place. Coming to a question is extremely important. I was talking about the mining sector earlier, because that's something we call share knowledge and share prosperities. Yes, we have a mining, Guinea is a mining country, but what we can do concretely is agriculture. We have more than 60 million arable land, whereby, we can, if we control the water, we can increase the productivity. Today, we have one project that has been done on the South-South cooperation between South Africa and Vietnam and Guinea.
Okay.
So basically, they just came and do, not large, about $5 million. They just develop it. They came and do rice paddy, and they increased the productivity for 5 times. So therefore, because in Vietnam, they know how to control water. Irrigation is the key. So some partnership we can do is agriculture area. And then we do have in Africa, in general, we produce, but we don't know how to keep the production.
Yes,
because at the end of the day, it's a problem of logistic, it's a problem of commitment, it's a problem of storage.
That's true.
So when you put our part, for example, we have one of the best mangoes in the world. But during the time of mangoes, within 1 month, you can see a lot of mangoes. After 1 month, you can't see any more mangoes because there's no storage. Not because we eaten all the mangoes, because the mangoes got spoiled. And because the logistic part from the south to come to the countryside, it will take you maybe 1 day or 2 days, because the road conditions are not good. Because, this kind of spoiling, in order that you can work on that, there's an opportunity to South country to come and work together to put the logistic, the road, all these ecosystem in order to help to develop not all agriculture, but agro-businesses. That's one area. Another area that we can do on the South-South is healthcare. In many South countries today, they are very good in health system. We can do, as I said, I love your reverse linkage, because, what can work in one country, we can duplicate to another country. And the third thing is, mining. Why I talk about Rio Tinto? We've been blessed, is one of the top mining projects in the world today, about $20 billion project. Yes, we are working with China. Yes, we are working with Australia. Yes, we are working with France. We are working for England. But the most important thing, the natural is called the first right of refusal. South-South countries, they do have the first right of refusal to come and work with us in order to develop that one. In our mindset, I think is the DNA of a Guinean, because we are called Pan-Africanists.
Yes.
So we were telling to our brothers from the South, our brother from Africa, you are the first right of refusal. So therefore, we want to develop with you. I give another example to another African countries. There's a project, but the administration, the government, really want to do for another African countries. And then another way also, there's one Asian country came to do a project in Guinea with non-South-South countries. So we give the preference, because we know there's 2 benefits to that. Our progress is not far away one another. We all take the independence almost at the same time.
Yeah.
So what worked in Indonesia, what worked in Malaysia, what worked in the Philippines, It can work well in Guinea because we have the same reality. We have the same, ecosystem. So we believe when they come to us, this project can be practical, can be good to the people because they have done it before. So this project, that's why I commend in the audience my colleague, Minister of Infrastructure, is here, who's looking at how to develop infrastructure that can capitalize on agriculture. In the audience also have people from the health system, the Secretary General from the Ministry of Health, Chief of Cabinet from the Ministry of Energy, Water. All these areas are extremely important that we can work with our South countries, our brotherly countries, but it's something that we do. Hence why we said the Institute, Guinea, want to be the partner to set up the Institute in our country. Because when you do that Institute, that's going to call the Institute South-South Cooperation Institute and Triangular. And then if IDB, I said if because we have addressed the communication to the IDB, and the IDB is really willing to be the pioneer to bring all the South-South country to set up an institute that can talk about climate change. That Madame was referring to that. Technology, sharing. As my brother from Tunisia was saying, they're sending people to sub-Saharan Africa for learning. Because if you have education today, you have food, you have water, you have electricity, all problems will get to be solved. And then in closing on that portion though, I always tell to people, our problem is not a political problem. Our problem is an economical problem. If this young guy can get a job, can get education, we wouldn't have no problem. So you need to work on the political and the economic aspect of whatever we're doing. But I believe so. I'm a very strong believer because we get our education, by the way, from South-South country. I spend time. Most of the guys here study either in Malaysia or in Indonesia or in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. It does not mean that we have neglected other part of the world, but we believe that we are sharing the same thing that one leader said. In terms to, whenever we are neighbor, try to prosper your neighbor, not beggar your neighbor. So therefore, with the South-South, we need to prosper our neighbor, sharing prosperity and experiences that we can do better in our world.
Very inspiring, very, very, very inspiring. I think that there's a lot of food for thought, and then the drive. I like the drive, the push for South-South cooperation, and then it means a lot. And then I think that what the powerful thing is that through South-South cooperation, you're not just testing ideas, you're testing things that are worked already somewhere. Then you can bring things. So I think this is really, really good. Now let me go back to the rest of the panel and Dr. Abdullah Al-Sakaran from the SFD. But this question also will apply to all of you. So can you please highlight your experience with the bank in promoting South-South cooperation to address development challenges in our member countries? Maybe you pick one example, just one example for all of you.
Thank you so much. It is a great honor for me to introduce Saudi Arabia House of Experts as an initiative that emerged between a partnership between Saudi Fund and Islamic Development Bank. Allow me first to talk about how the idea was born. As you know, the world is an era of unprecedented global challenge, such economic instability, health crisis, and rapid technology change. And the need for innovation and sustainable solution has never been greater. In the context, leveraging collective knowledge and resource is a critical, and strategic partnership are paths to succeed. Through such collaboration, we can turn challenge into opportunity for sustainable growth and resilience. In light of this, the Saudi Fund for Development has launched an important initiative in collaboration with the Islamic Development Bank, the Saudi House of a Global Expert, aimed to harness the Saudi Arabia extensive knowledge and technical capability in a critical sector such as healthcare, digital transformation, and education by pooling the wealth of knowledge and best practice from all centers of excellence in Saudi Arabia by enhancing key sector and activity support, the sustainable development goal, our aim to convey this valuable expert into comprehensive database and share this knowledge with country in Global South, working hand in hand to tailor and apply this strategy to their individual development need. The Saudi House of Global Expert represent a new era of collaboration. It is not just repository of knowledge, but dynamic platform where innovation and expertise lead to actionable development solution. We envision this house as a cornerstone of South-South and Triangle cooperation, where the potential of shared learning and mutual assistance is fully realized. We are honored to undertake this initiative and a partnership with the Islamic Development Bank, an institution renowned for its expertise in reverse linkage. And it's a unique position as the only multilateral development bank entirely owned by the dedicated to the Global South. This collaboration aligns perfectly with our goals and strategy, leveraging ISDB deep expertise and network to maximize the impact of our efforts. Together, we are setting a robust example of how strategic partnership can enhance the scope of effectiveness of development initiative, making this idea aligns for driving sustainable progress in South-South and Triangle cooperation. As we continue to advance the Saudi House of Global Expertise, we look to the future with optimized and firm commitment to our shared goals. This platform is more than just a meeting point of knowledge. It is a beacon of hope and innovation for the Global South. By continuous evaluating and expanding this initiative, we aim to not only meet the immediate development need, but also anticipated future challenge and opportunity. Together with a stand effort and in enduring partnership like the one we have with the Islamic Development Bank, we are not just dreaming of our bright future, we are actively building it. Finally, let us embrace this journey with open hearts and minds, steadfast in our belief that through cooperation and shared vision we can achieve extraordinary things for our communicate and beyond. Thank you.
I cannot agree more with your last statement that with all of that, but I like also your statement that innovation and expertise, knowledge sharing should be seen as actionable development solutions, so which leads to impact. I like that statement. Thank you very much. Mr. Lumban Tobing, how can you tell us a little bit about your relationship and cooperation with the Islamic Development Bank and what has led to?
Thank you. Actually, the cooperation between Indonesia and ISDB has existed long before the establishment of the Indonesian aid, of course. And ISDB has provided financing to Indonesia on many sectors, on agriculture, rural, also the development of small and medium enterprise, and Islamic financial institution as well. ISDB has leveraged co-financing Indonesia on education sector, including in Islamic education institution under the Ministry of Religious Affairs and also under the Ministry of National Education. In 2020, there are 30 buildings have been built for Islamic University in Indonesia, including laboratories, libraries, and of course, supporting facilities. The funding and construction of this facility will have significantly impact on improving the quality of Islamic higher education in Indonesia. In the context of international development cooperation, especially in the reverse linkage scheme, Indonesia has been cooperating with Indonesian line ministries, so before the Indonesian aid established, and in various international development program. In 2014 and 2015, there is a project triangular cooperation for Kazakhstan and Kyrgyz. We do it together with the Islamic Development Bank, which this project actually how to share our knowledge about the artificial insemination. We also have a cooperation, of course, with the IDB, with the Palestinian International Cooperation, and again, it's similar with the we did with the Kyrgyz and Kazakhstan. And we also have the project, what we call knowledge sharing with Suriname, on the strengthening Indonesia-Suriname Development Cooperation on, again, artificial insemination for cattle. Because, you know, Indonesia has a very good expertise on artificial insemination, and this expertise, we like to share it with many our partner, southern countries. And as to the reverse links initiative, Indonesian aid has been in close coordination with ISDB since last year. As I mentioned before, there is an ongoing project now on the telemedicine project, which aim to enhance health services in Somalia. The projects actually also not only Indonesian aid, but also the government of Egypt and UNDP, of course, Islamic Development Bank. And currently, we are preparing a new program, of course, with the cooperation with the ISDB, to set up a program, we call it Alliance, to fight avoidable blindness in several countries in Africa. So hopefully next year it can be implemented. So what I see in our cooperation with ISDB, the ISDB demonstrate a strong commitment. That's to make us very keen to work more with the ISDB in supporting its southern partners to engage in the South-South cooperation, despite diverse domestic challenges and, of course, the national legal aspect. Dedication is reflected in their continuous effort to provide assistance and guidance tailored to the specific needs and circumstances for each partner country. So, Indonesian aid expresses profound satisfaction and keen to forging the close collaboration with the ISDB. I stop here.
Yeah. No, thank you very much. It's very encouraging to see that there is a lot of areas where we're working together, and then the telemedicine, artificial insemination, Islamic finance, and so on. So looking forward to continue the collaboration and working with you. Now, Mohammed, same question. What has been your experience working with the Islamic Development Bank, and what has been delivered?
Shukran.
I consider that it is such a great place, and the Islamic Bank for Development is a great place for mutual cooperation, South-to-South cooperation within the agency, and the bank have such a great mutual history in this regard. and has robust relationships to have like mutual cooperation, consultation, and mutual trust. The Islamic Bank for Development is the most important partner for the agency, in addition to other partners such as the International Agency for Cooperation and other entities relating to this. Equally important, there are 3 levels in terms of the agency relationship to the bank. The first level has been to execute the technical field for the bank implementation, which is represented in was established 1983, and the agency, of course, worked hard through implementing different process operations scheduled in this program, particularly when it comes to sending Tunisian experts for further technical cooperation and support for different countries requiring such kind of support or need, and also capacity building in different fields within the framework of this program. The second level has been the participation engagement of the bank and the agency in different initiative programs that are mutual, the most important of which is, to mention but a few, volunteering in eye diseases, which is a project that was based on or started in 2003, and it has such a great impact on the human health, particularly when it comes to the African countries. So many achievements have been realized by virtue of this program. Just some examples to be quoted: 90 volunteering operations or processes have been organized, through which, of course, 30,000 medical operations for the eyes, for the people disease, impact of this, that is 58,000 people from Africa were diagnosed, and more than 218,000 doctors and physicians, of course, have been also assigned as eye doctors, and also still processes undergoing. In addition to different mutual projects, particularly I'm speaking here about coping up, the agency being coping up always to the updated sent by the bank, the way of expertise and knowledge being always shared. So far, we have implemented 6 projects in this field, of course, with the Islamic Bank Development. I can cite some telling examples. There is a project for the Arabic language learning in education in Chad for different years to develop the Arabic language education in Chad, which is a very important program or project in terms of the projects, in terms of like supporting and providing training in this regard. There is another project coming into play, which is for the agricultural products in Guinea, particularly the mango production and other trees, which is very important as a project in terms of the development of the value chain, particularly when it gives it like more value, opening the doors wide for more exportation. There is another project which is very important, particularly post-COVID-19 pandemic, which is establishing a laboratory for analysis for COVID-19 pandemic in Comoros Island. Equally important, other programs have also come into play in terms of the mutual cooperation and coordination with the bank, particularly to develop the South-to-South ecosystem in the member countries. The agency, of course, has further developed and worked with the bank in addition to other countries to further develop their systems and laws. There are other projects to cite and quote, but I just want to be a little brief on these projects that are very important. There is a third level, of course, in terms of the ratio between the agency and the bank, which is supporting the capacity and of the agency. The bank has been always in support of the agency to enhance their capacity building and the South-to-South agency in Tunisia. Now we are implementing a project in close cooperation with the Brazilian agency, in addition to the bank, the development bank, the Islamic Development Bank, in order to enhance the South-to-South in Tunisia, and also giving it the mechanisms, the state-of-the-art methods and mechanisms so to enhance and realize different targets in the field. Also, the bank has contributed to enhancing and developing different capacity building levels through the unlimited support of in this project and others. We, in close cooperation with the bank, we are always to develop the South-to-South ecosystem with the member countries and enhance their levels as higher as possible, of course, tangibly to achieve the target, the development and growth targets. This is what I have wanted to really share with you. So the agency in Tunisia is an apparatus, an organ that is concerned with providing South-to-South cooperation or coordination. So the agency provides South-to-South cooperation coordination, very much like in Tunisia. So the agency is not an agency in two-way cooperation coordination. It is an organ that provides South-to-South support and cooperation to share expertise, knowledge, and the readily made solutions across different countries. In brief, we have such a great history with the bank, and we will continue working further with the bank for further South-to-South cooperation coordination, enhancing it to higher levels. Thank you very much. Your attention is highly appreciated.
As a partner in delivering South-South cooperation, and then we definitely know that with an agency like yours, we can continue implementing impactful projects. Now, Dima, same question. Yes.
Well, I mean, we are proud to be a current partner with the Islamic Development Bank. At this stage, we do have an action plan that is currently being implemented. But the relationship with the bank goes back to the 80s, so that's a historical one. I think it started at the time with a joint program to support, to prevent brain drain in the Global South, in the countries of the Global South. And then it continued from there on in different shapes and forms, capacity building, policy dialogues, but also joining efforts on research and analysis. And here I want to mention a recent joint effort that we have done with the bank through a policy dialogue on triangular cooperation, which was based on also two evidence-based studies or research studies, one of which undertaken by the bank together with OECD on triangular cooperation, and another one that we have led together with GIZ on triangular cooperation with focus on the Arab states. And this has been an important dialogue that is also informing our establishment of a triangular cooperation window. So it's extremely important to note that this collaboration with the bank is being institutionalized, is being taken forward, and we are also very proud that we have been showcasing the different undertakings of the bank on our Galaxy platform in terms of knowledge products, and we look forward to maintaining and keeping up with this collaboration. And I know that we are also planning some future activities coming up, especially with focus on the experience of the bank of dealing with the private sector in terms of financial packages. So more to come. Thank you.
No, equally proud to work with you, and then I witness myself the evolution of the relationship going to more policy dialogue, and this is really welcome. But let me come back with a follow-up question, just to say, if we could do better or more, what do you think we could do better together? What could we do to improve?
Together?
Yes.
Well, this links also up to the scaling up, I would believe. And in my opinion, the institutionalization of South-South cooperation would be extremely important, and that could be a joint endeavor. But also bringing options to the countries of the South in terms of the relieving the financial distress. All the countries of the Global South have been voicing that they are suffering from the indebtedness, especially after the pandemic, and they are looking very much forward to look at solutions, at options that will allow them to weather this, multiple crises, especially on the financial side. Mm-hmm. And I think the collaboration with the bank would be extremely timely to see how, with the experience of the bank, whether through the reverse linkage or through the national ecosystems, through the capacity building, we can bring this knowledge and help to operationalize, options that will relieve the indebtedness of the countries of the South and help them, look more into bridging the gap of the SDGs achievement. So institutionalization, capacity building, using, the expertise of the bank in terms of financial solutions would be definitely extremely useful moving forward.
This keeps coming back. It's not only you.
Yeah.
This innovative financial solution for development
Yes.
is keep coming back everywhere. So I think this is something that we need to collectively try to see how we can grasp and then provide solution to institutionalization, capacity building is also a couple of other points to keep in mind. Mr. Lumbatshutbi, I want to just come back to you to know, you mentioned reverse linkage several times, and I wanted to know what are the lessons learned from the reverse linkage project implemented with your institution? What are the key lessons, if you have?
Thank you. Actually, for us, as I mentioned earlier, that Indonesia is quite new. So, of course, the reverse linkage program give us somehow actually another modality to do cooperation, because in addition to the bilateral cooperation, of course, there should be another way that can be done to expedite how can we provide the assistance. In our case, I mean, my experience following this program in Indonesian perspective, Indonesian aid, of course, it helps us to identify the specific needs of our partner actually. So in this, let's say the telemedicine, Islamic Development Bank provide us, this is a good program, can be where the Indonesian aid can chip in. So we don't need from scratch, but we already have the well-designed program. And then, of course, again, I believe that when let's say the Multilateral Development Bank preparing a program, I don't have any doubt that the quality is already there. So that's my one standard. Okay. So that's one. So we don't need to prepare a program from scratch. Of course, we also learn from ISDB how to, again, as a new agency, we need also learning. That's the part of our learning actually, how to carry on a good development cooperation. So that's the second experience, or for me, is like patents for us to join the Research Links program. Of course, also helps give us some perspective that encourages us which area, another area that can be also put to under reverse links program, because now we have also a plan, again, a cooperation with the ESDB to update. So in 2017, there is a cooperation between the ESDB and the government of Indonesia to do mapping about the expertise that had been accumulated in our development. So this document actually is very helpful for us to sharing, to communicate or knowledge or experience or expertise that can be shared with others. And hopefully we can carry on with this, because it was in 2017. So maybe there is any changes, so we need to update it. So that's our experience engaging this reverse links program. So For us, we keep continue to work together with the ISDB. Thank you.
Thank you. Looking forward to continue the collaboration. And then we took note that the mapping of expertise, the issue of designing projects, and then making sure that you have some solutions that we can borrow from the learning part is also important. So very, very well much noted. Mohammed, I want to come back to you with the follow-up questions on what are the main lessons learned from initiatives jointly undertaken by the bank in the area of national ecosystems for South-South and triangular corporations.
Shukran.
Thank you. For the lessons that we can learn in this respect, we note that the South cooperation is something that is still weak at the level of understanding or awareness. The awareness about the importance of this cooperation to achieve the development objectives and the importance of it to create or to find solutions for the different problems or challenges. The lessons include, for example, the focus on different experiences, different contexts, and the effective solutions that we need to introduce to the countries of the South, despite all the great work that has been done by the different parties, including the United Nations, for example, in their South Galaxy platform. But despite that, matching the needs and the requirements with the demand, with what is offered, is something that is still weak. And therefore, we need to understand the success stories that can be replicated. And there is also another daunting challenge that is related to the development of public policies in the field of South-South cooperation. In most of the cases, there is no clear strategy at the national level for the South-South cooperation. Yes, we have elements of South-South cooperation in some fields and aspects, but at the level of the countries of the South, there are still gaps, and there is no South-to-South cooperation system in these countries. At the level of some projects that we implemented with the bank to develop the South-South cooperation, what we have noticed is that the South-South cooperation, we can find it in different aspects and fields, but it is not visible and it's not part of the policies or the strategies. It is, and it's not part of the funding mechanisms or the coordination mechanisms. This is what we have noticed, and therefore this cooperation has to be institutionalized. Other lessons may include, for example, the issue of funding the South-South cooperation. In most of the cases, we find difficulties in funding many of the operations under the framework of this cooperation. And therefore, we have to think of devising mechanisms for the funding of the South-South cooperation, because this is instrumental in order to achieve development. This is briefly the key lessons that we can learn, which we have noticed in our work. And of course, there are other issues that we need to work on, especially regarding the networking, the relations, the networking between the different institutions in the countries of the South, and to facilitate the process of sharing the knowledge and sharing the experiences. And this is something that can be worked on in order to foster this cooperation and to make this cooperation as a very important tool to achieve the development objectives.
Very, very interesting, a lot of food for thought. I think the point on no clear strategies, I think that we touched on it, we discussed it at some point, that strategies are not really at country level, maybe clear and developed in such a way that there is the funding mechanism that goes with it is missing. I think this is really a great point to keep. The awareness, lack of awareness also, and the need to match the needs with the requirement are also very, very important point. Now, I'm going to come to now another point that's going to be for all of you, another question, because I turn to the audience. Bear with us, I'm coming to you. So prepare your questions for the panelists, but I'm going to come back to you just for one additional comment, which is trying to link the South-South cooperation and the North-South. How can we, by combining the two, make sure that we can scale up in delivering on South-South cooperation? I want your perspective, all of you, starting with Mr. Governor, and then we'll go down the panelists.
All right, thank you. I think that's a good question. South-South and North-South. I just want to quote my president recently in the United Nations, whereby he's saying that Guinea, we are not pro, we are not against. So we are not pro-American, pro or against. So basically, we are friends with everybody. I think that comes to play that what I was saying earlier, that we favor our friend from South, but at the same time, we favor equally our friend from North, because we are bound to live together in this world, in this planet. This is why, in fact, when you talk about climate change today, it becomes a global issue. It's not because you're from South, you're from North, but we need to work together to make sure to resolve this matter as the climate change, just an example. This is an area that the South, North, we are working closely to making sure, because sometimes there is saying that it's the North who pollute, but South is the one who gets the consequences. So, you know, we had in this region, we have the COP, which was in Dubai, and then also I think here in Riyadh, in Saudi Arabia, they are also working very hard to talk about something on that. Is really important. So today, the world become a global village. We are bound to work together. Take the perspective in Africa in general. 50 years ago and now, the population of our part of the world, we have more than 70% they are young people. So younger people, my country, for example, we have about 70% young people. This gives opportunity because we have abundant natural resources. And then what do we need? Technology. Technology where it can get from the north, it can get from the south. And that can also give that opportunity for the younger generation to get a job. So our role today as a government to create jobs, to give work to the people, as I said earlier, is the economic situation. So North is important, South is important, and that even gives to my earlier case study again, to the project that I've been telling you. That project, I can call it, because that's to give me a good idea, is a project which is South-South, is South-North, because we are getting our friend from North, they are bringing technology, we are getting the know-how, the local content methodology from the from my friend from the South, because if you talk about the South country, the method, the way they use to make sure the local content is respected, that we are emulating to get the local content from South country to incorporate it in the deals that they are doing right now. So I completely agree with you. In closing, for me, South-South cooperation is important. We've been talking about also the triangular. I think that's 50 years ago. Now, our motion should be 50 years later, we should go for South-South cooperation, but through circular collaboration. Yes, we've been doing triangle. You can do Saudi Arabia, Korea, and Guinea, or you can do Japan, Malaysia, or Indonesia to Guinea, or you can do Tunisia. This is a triangle. But now we should look more into circular partnerships. So that's why there's the motion I'm advocating on this panel to look for South-South cooperation by circular partnerships that can add value. I think that goes to your point. When you can go south, but north, at the same time, the country itself, let's go for circular partnership that will touch base. When you look into the circle, everybody will be concerned. Everybody will be touched on. This is my motion that we are carrying out to make sure that we look into the circular partnerships with South-South cooperation. And then, as I said, we are everybody, we are friends of everybody. We want to make sure to talk to everybody to develop our part and have shared prosperity across the board. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Let me bring Dima, I want to put you on the spot. As a global institution, how do you hear what the government is saying about this circular cooperation? What does it mean to you?
I like it, circular. So it brings back where it starts from. So more return on investment. But let me shed the light a little bit on what you have also asked in terms, because that links very much to what His Excellency has been saying. Definitely triangular cooperation as a complement to South-South need to be further enhanced and need to be further thought of. And this is a mechanism whereby the expertise definitely of the northern countries for tested solutions, for knowledge, for technical know-how. I mean, South-South cooperation cannot be perceived in isolation from the overall development cooperation. But it needs to be further enhanced, and it needs to be further leveraged, and it needs to be demand-driven on principles of equity. And I want to a bit repeat what was mentioned this morning in the session on the multidisciplinary poverty index, right? One of the colleagues mentioned the equity in prosperity. And this should be, you know, something that should go hand in hand with solidarity. The lens of addressing developments needs to take equity into the equation. And this goes back to the circularity. It goes back to the circularity, and it goes back to also being flexible about putting the norms of cooperation. So triangle cooperation would be definitely a vehicle whereby the expertise of the North, the accumulated expertise, the leverage, the comparative advantage that the countries have acquired could be definitely transferred, taking into account the country's specificities. It should not be a prescriptive process. It should take the context into account, the specificities and the needs.
Now, to the point, it's not either or. It should be a combination of North and South-South. And Mohammed, can you tell us what could be the optimal mix? Or is there an optimal mix? Or there are many equilibria? What do you think on this combining South to North cooperation? Shukran.
Thank you. The South-South cooperation is not an alternative to the South-North cooperation. It is complementary to it, and it is very specific, and therefore it's very important to be within the framework of the international cooperation for development. There should be North-South cooperation, and there should be South-South cooperation, because it has certain characteristics. Why? It's closer at the level of culture, and it's closer at the level of the environment and the development issues. The experiences of the countries of the South are pivotal in order to share the experiences and to replicate the solutions, because there are some development issues that can be tackled in one country, and these solutions can be replicated in another country, and therefore I do not see that they are contradictory. But there is also the triangular cooperation that is also important, and we have an experience. We have an experience in this with Japan. For example, Tunisia has benefited from the international cooperation with Japan. We tried under a program with the JICA. We tried to convey what we have learned as part of that partnership with Japan, to convey that to other African countries. And this cooperation continued or lasted for a number of years. And it was about some sectors that received support, technical support and assistance from the side of the Japanese. So what we benefited from the Japanese, actually, we tried to convey it or to transfer it to other countries. We had an experience, we had some issues, we overcame these issues, and we tried to help other countries of the South. And this is because we believe in the importance of the triangular cooperation. We cooperated with the Japanese in the field of environment, maternal and childhood health, as well as the fishing. And there is also another cultural issue in relation to the South cooperation. We had an experience with the maternal and childhood health and the reproductive health in general, and the cultural aspect was important. Was critical in the implementation of some of the programs related to family planning, reproductive health, and such things. So the Tunisian experts, when they travel to some Muslim countries, they would take with them a religious leader because this is a very sensitive cultural issue. So it's easier to convince other countries by the importance of this work if you tackle it from the religious perspective. And therefore, we think that South cooperation has these important features. So in brief, it is three phases of cooperation that will achieve the development objectives. So it is not a single form of cooperation. All these types of cooperation are important and they all contribute to the development process. But what is important is that in every cooperation we need to take from it the important features of it and then we polish them. And so the South-South cooperation is very important at the level of the effectiveness of it because the cultures are similar. The North-South cooperation is important and the triangular one is complementing them all.
Very good point, I think, in terms of how do you combine the two, that dimension, the cultural dimension. It needs to be put in context. You don't just push the two, but make sure there is a context is there, and then cultural issue may be coming your way when you try to bring the two. That's very important. Now, Dr. Abdul Salam, I want to come to you for the same question. What is your perspective in terms of, I know that you have this Kingdom of Saudi Arabia House of Experts, and do you contemplate bringing North-South into that, but just South-South, and how you would do that if you bring the North-South into it?
Thank you. As you know, the characteristics of South-South cooperation and North-South cooperation is different. And the position of North-South, North country or North cooperation in position of donor country, not like the South-South cooperation. They mix between some of them as a donor and some of them as a beneficiary. Yes, the North-South cooperation meet the South-South cooperation in sustainable development goals, especially, and in that area, in our position at the Saudi Fund, we focus to working with the North-South cooperation and South-South cooperation by determined 5 key sectors that mean international efforts that manage or lead or announced by the North, and the most country benefit in the South, especially in food security, clean energy, climate action, and water security, and the most important is digitalization. These sectors represent a holistic approach, leveraging inherent synergy to address the critical need of beneficiary country. And by focus on this area, we ensure that our efforts are not only comprehensive, but also provide a specific need for each region we serve. So this strategy at the Saudi Fund align with the Sustainable Development Goals, leveraging the interconnected natural of this global efforts to foster, collaborate, and innovate solution that can overcome the barriers, embedding in our collective progress.
Okay. No, very clear. The target is the beneficiaries in the South-South, but leveraging the others. So Our last guest would be the last word in terms of your perspective, Mr. Lumba Tobing. What do you think the Indo-Aid agency could combine North and South in delivering impactful results?
Yes, I think our world today is facing a multitude of complex and interconnected challenges, extending across borders and impacting every aspect of society. Therefore, we need to forge collective efforts and innovative solutions. So I believe we do agree that the South-South cooperation is not a substitute for South-North cooperation, but we do agree that complement each other. So in our case, we are not doing only bilateral or triangular with the multilateral development bank, but also we're doing triangular with involving the North partners. Currently, we are preparing a program to our neighbor, Timor-Leste, with the cooperation of the JICA, Japan. So I think just to make more, the arrangement like that, I think we kindly maybe the multilateral development bank, such as ESDB, maybe can be play as a facilitator how to make more triangular can take place. Because again, the problem is very huge. So any kind of means should be carried out, and the time is we don't have a luxury.
That's right.
Especially we can if we relate to the 2030 SDG target. So I think it should be complement each other. That's my observation. Over to you. Thank you.
I think there's quite a consensus in the panel that it should be complementary. I think that we all agree. Let me see what the audience think. I'm going to try with Mrs. Gonzalo. So, Mrs. Gonzalo, I would like to hear your views. Mrs. Gonzalo is from the OECD, working on the same issues. I would like to hear your views, and then I'll come to you, ma'am. Yes, I'll come to you right after. Can you give the mic?
So thank you very much. I'm going to stand to see you all. First of all, you mentioned His Excellency about how he felt pride and humbled. I feel the same way. I'm very proud because the OECD is also a partner of many of you sitting there, and of course of the bank. We have partnered together in triangular cooperation and also looking at global perspectives of triangular cooperation. I think the same. So, and the other element is I also feel humbled because of the wealth of experiences that you have shared and this amazing dynamism that comes from the Global South that I'm always it's breathtaking all the time and super inspiring. So I do think that is complementary, completely complementary. This was the spirit of BAPA too, to be complementary because we still need to do our homework as so the OECD and its membership needs to deliver on those commitments while also we all come together and leverage each other as one community in order to transit those development pathways. I also feel that in this discussion, I would like to point 3 different things that were very important. So the first one would be for me, the importance of those national ecosystems. That is absolutely key. But also thinking about the need to have the right governance arrangements in order to be able to duplicate and scale. Without the right governance arrangement, then it's harder to actually come together and to build from each other's wealth. The second one is data. data. So all this, the Galaxy platform and the others, this is so important, and everything that the bank has done as well, and this online capacity building. But really in data and the key to scale up might sound like very small, but is to continue to share. So all this synthesis and the fact that coming together and showing experience, and it is also very inspiring. There is a thought now about how we don't have the right buy-in, or we're not as exciting as other modalities potentially, or it doesn't get spoken much about it. But I do believe that in the fact of sharing and doing synthesis work and working on our communication, it is also showing those really good lessons and how we leverage each other is one of the key aspects. And my final word is, we should not forget that we're all on this together, and this allows us to actually re-signify partnerships, and how together, regardless of north or south, but the knowledge is a global public good, and we all come together to that, and as much as we can multiply it in very different manners for the climate, for challenges facing poverty, and being multidimensional that we have spoken about, but also biodiversity, or others, just coming together, sharing that knowledge, and also that knowledge also gets improved and transforms while we share it. And it is not the same knowledge, and it is not the same innovative solution at the end. So those are my 3 takeaways. And again, very, very, very happy with everything you've shared and humbled in this knowledge.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and for reminding us that we are all into this together. And then there are some bottlenecks like data, governance, and then the national ecosystem. So, Madam, can you say a few words about your institution that you're representing, and then you present yourself?
Yes, thank you. My name is Mehla Talebna. I'm from Mauritania, a founding country of IDB. I'm a former minister and now president of the National Observatory of Women and Girls' Rights. First of all, I congratulate the panelists, as I definitely share many of their views. I also would like to congratulate the IDB on the occasion of its Golden Jubilee, and for the good job it has been doing in supporting governments, program, and private sector since its inception. And I also recognize that IDB is supporting so many NGOs. However, we should acknowledge that there is a kind of weak visibility regarding the IDB development programs in favor of women's development achievements. I mean directly. And as you know, nowadays the public opinions need to see more and better ground results. My question is, how can women network in the Muslim world be more involved in the IDB program in the annual meeting, for example? Is there a possibility to create a women forum every year during the IDB annual meetings? As you know, women in the Muslim world used to share same challenges. They could somehow share some solutions, same solutions, and that definitely need better solutions. So women civil society leaders need solidarity, networking, sharing information, and better practices in order to find new opportunities and, of course, more resources. Finally, would I recommend to IDB to find a way to develop the member states' good governance system in fragile countries, aiming to improve the governance mechanism in order to better connect and partner with civil society organizations in Africa, and particularly in the West and North African countries. I thank you.
Thank you very, very much. We take that as recommendations and suggestions, so we'll take that back and then reflect on them. Any other comments? Yes, sir. The mic, please. That's right.
Thank you. This is not a comment, but I was asked by the organizers to introduce the agency and to present our experience between Morocco Agency for International Cooperation and the ESDB. So I will just introduce the agency and then share with you our experience with the ISDB. Morocco South-South cooperation policy is guided by the vision of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, who places the human element at the heart of all our projects, initiatives, and programs, mostly in Africa. This royal vision enabled the mobilization of all stakeholders and the cooperation ecosystem of the Kingdom of Morocco, including ministry, governmental agencies, public and private sector, and civil society, around South-South cooperation project conducted by Morocco with partner countries. Morocco Agency for International Cooperation, AMCI, which works in coordination with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, African Cooperation, and Moroccan expatriates, is at the core, at the heart of the national ecosystem in charge of implementing activities and programs within the scope of South-South and triangular cooperation in more than 119 countries worldwide, among them 47 in the African continent. AMCI was created in 1986, almost 40 years ago. AMCI operates in 4 main fields: academic and cultural cooperation. We are receiving each year more than 15,000 international students. Technical cooperation and sharing of expertise. We are also receiving 1,000 African executives each year for capacity building programs, support to sustainable human development projects, and international humanitarian actions. Today, AMCI is considered as a valued partner for international cooperation agencies, international development banks, and donors in implementing cooperation projects in the scope of South-South cooperation. Among those international partners, ISDB is a privileged one, with whom AMCI signed an MOU in 2014, almost 10 years ago, to facilitate exchange of expertise between Morocco and other ISDB member countries. This MOU has been operationalized through the joint implementation of technical cooperation activities in the scope of South-South and triangular cooperation, and through the innovative mechanism of reverse linkage projects. It is important to mention quickly some of those co-implemented projects by IMCI and ESDB, mainly through the reverse linkage project. In 2017, a project in strengthening maternal health infrastructure in Djibouti. This program had as a main focus the training and transfer of knowledge from experts of Morocco to 180 Djibouti professionals of maternity, in addition to the acquisition and installation of 45 cardiotachographs. In 2018, the implementation of the project of drinking water sanitation in Burkina Faso through AMCI and its technical partner from Morocco, who adopted the best biological solution to improve drinking water quality in Burkina Faso. In the field of academic cooperation, we'll have 1 minute.
Yes, we have to.
Both parties launched an ambitious program for the benefit of African students to offer them scholarships. Finally, the Kingdom of Morocco, through AMCI, is committed in the 3-2C initiative for effective technical cooperation program launched by ESDB. We look forward for furthermore collaboration with ISDB with an ambition to scale up the common project under South-South and triangular cooperation in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you. MC, can I just have one more question? There is a gentleman there. This is your hand. A question to the panelists? Yes. Just this one.
Very quick question to Ms. Tima. You know, we just discussed lots of things about this knowledge sharing and all these things. Is there any organization who is capturing all these knowledges? Because we don't need to reinvent the wheel now, because we can see lots of good practices there. And I think there should be a central institution or organization or resource center who should capture all these knowledges and share it among all the member countries so that everybody can benefit from this. Thank you.
Thank you. Dima, go ahead.
There is a digital platform hosted on our website. It's called Galaxy, and it has all of the knowledge that I'm talking about, like 1,000 lessons learned and best practices. So please do visit that on our website, okay? unsouthsouth.org.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we, at the end of this session, I would like to congratulate and thank the panelists, Mr. Governor, Mr. Abdullah, Mr. Timur Blanc, Mohammed, and Dima for coming. I think that, I don't know how you guys feel, but I've learned a lot, and I would like you to join me in applauding our panelists. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you very much, Dr. Isa and distinguished panelists for this very interesting discussion. We have come to the end of our event, and I would like to call Mr. Munsif Sudani, manager of the reverse linkage division, to make the closing remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Excellency, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to start by thanking our valuable speakers for sharing their wealth of knowledge on South-South cooperation and its potential in this decade of action and beyond. I also thank the participant and partner who spared their time to attend this special event actively and deliberate on South-South cooperation. Let me take advantage of this opportunity to sincerely thank all our member countries for their partnership with the bank over the past 50 years. More importantly, your commitment and spirit of solidarity have been evident in the sharing of knowledge, expertise, and development solutions. At the Islamic Development Bank, we truly believe that every member country and indeed every nation in the Global South have something valuable to share and gain, regardless of their current level of development. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, as we cherish these days, the past achievement and impactful contribution of the bank to the social economic development of our member country during the last 50 years, it's also imperative to reflect on the challenges of the past, understanding the present landscape, and chart our way forward for the next 50 years, inshallah. Today's, our discussion have underscored the importance of the strategic partnership and the potential for further advancement of South-South cooperation. We all agree that South-South cooperation has been an effective tool of development in the past decades, and its full potential remains untapped. Scaling up South-South cooperation in this decade of action requires concerted efforts from all the partners, with countries from the Global South and beyond. We need strong collaboration among MDBs to facilitate financing and the transfer of knowledge and development solutions that are needed in addressing the pressing challenges. At the Islamic Development Bank, and in line with our realignment strategy 2023-2025, we are placing South-South cooperation at the core of our operation and activity. We are moving beyond technical cooperation, mainstreaming South-South cooperation across trade, private sector, development, and other sectors. Furthermore, we recognize the importance of enriching the body of knowledge of South-South cooperation, and developing a new concept and tools is essential to develop South-South cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of my remarks, I would like to reiterate our sincere thanks to His Excellency, our Vice President, Dr. Mansour Mukhtar, and my colleague, Dr. Isa, reaffirming the bank's dedication to collaborate with all of you with open arms in promoting South-South cooperation. We stand ready to share our expertise, experience in the area with all for the benefit of our member country. South-South cooperation is a key development instrument that can contribute to achieving the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Let's all work together to make it a reality. Once again, thank you very much for your time and looking forward to seeing you again and working with you on this very important area. Please join me in giving a big round of applause to our speaker and moderator and master of ceremony for this contribution. And we are looking forward to have again and again better future of South-South Cooperation Initiative. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and change makers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and change makers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and change makers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and change makers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of time meet the waves of progress. Welcome to Riyadh, the pulsating capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the cradle of civilization, where dreams soar higher than the desert dunes, a beacon of hope rises. For 5 decades, the ISDB has been a catalyst for change, empowering nations and transforming lives. As we celebrate half a century of resilience, determination, and progress, join us for a monumental event under the patronage of the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Ministers, policymakers, industry leaders, and changemakers from 57 member countries and many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
نحن نخدم الإنسانية.
Welcome to the heart of innovation, where the sand dunes of